Madhava. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Bharadhari Jai Giri Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giri Bharadhari Jai Giri Bharadhari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jashodanandana Jai Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Braja Jana Ranjana Jaya Braja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Jai Braja Jana Ranjana Jai Braja Jana Ranjana Jai Jamuna Tidavanachari Jai Kunja Vihari Jai Jamuna Tidavanachari Jai Kunja Vihari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Madhava Jayam Vishnu Padman Hangsha Puri Brajaka Charja Ashtatara Susama Chala Abhay Charnar Binda Bhakti Vedanta Shami Shri Prabhupada ki ISKCON Pratishthat Acharya Shri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Ananta Srimad Bhagavatam ki Shamaveta Gaur Bhakti Vrinda ki Sisi Nitai Gaur Ishidanath Brahmanundi Hari Hari Bo. No, I don't. Bhagavatam class. No need short introduction. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Krishna Swadamupagate Dharma Yana Divi Shahakalo Nashta Drisham Esha Puranak Adano Ditaha. Vande ahang Shri Guru Shri Jatapada Kamalang Shri Guru and Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Shagarajatam Shahagana Raghunatam Vitang Tang Shajivam Sadvaitam Shavadutam Parijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Shivi Shakang Vidangsha Mantra Guru Ajota Shika Guru Ganta Charane Agikari Abandon Vanchakalpa Trubhishta Kripa Shindu Vivacha Potitanam Pavaneva Vaishnava Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shindavari Prashtata Deshatarine Maitreya Uvacha Sa Itam Loka Guruna Vishvakshenena Vishvajit Anushashita Adesham Shirasha Jagrihe Hare Maitreya Uvacha Shaitam Loka Guruna Vishaksheshana Vishwajit Anushashita Adesham Shirasha Jagrihe Hare. Please chant. Yeah. Matri Mandali. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Shaha he itam thus Loka Guruna by the Supreme Master of all people, Vishwak Vishwakshenena by the personality of Godhead, Vishwajit, the conqueror of the world, Maharaj Prithu, Anushashitaha, being ordered, Adesham, instructions, Shirasha, on the head, Jagrihe, accepted, Hare, of the personality of Godhead. The great saint Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, in this way, Maharaj Prithu, the conqueror of the entire world, accepted the instructions of the personality of Godhead on his head. Translation responsively, the great saint Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, in this way, Maharaj Prithu, the conqueror of the entire world, accepted the instructions of the personality of Godhead on his head, purport by His Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Ki. One should accept the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by bowing down at the lotus feet of the Lord. This means that anything spoken by the Personality of Godhead should be taken as it is. With great care and attention and with great respect. It is not our business to amend the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or make additions or alterations, as it has become a custom for many so-called scholars and swamis who comment on the words of Bhagavad Gita. Here, the practical example of how to accept the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is shown by Prithu Maharaj. This is the way to receive knowledge through the Parampara system. Srila Prabhupada ki. A few months ago, we were in Mangalore with Nam Nishta Prabhu, and we were there. We were meeting with the Vice Chancellor of the university. I won't say which university, but a big university there. Sisi Nita Goshamna ki, Shishi Radha Madan Mohan ki, Jagannath Baladev Shubhadra Maharani ki. So our objective was to introduce Srimad Bhagavatam as a study, as a course, a certified course in the university there, using the Bhakti Vedanta curriculum that we had developed in Mayapur. It was a very extensive curriculum, big study manual of the Srimad Bhagavatam with modules and assessment and projects, the types of things that we would usually expect in a systematic study, and definitely equivalent with what you would find in terms of content and academic approach to any type of study at graduate level in university. We had the material there. So first of all, we were discussing which department of studies would the Bhagavad Purana, would it fit into? Would it be history? Would it be language, Sanskrit? Would it be culture? We were actually studying, we were discussing with the Vice Chancellor of the Science Department. And we were discussing science, and he was discussing, well, how will it fit into the science department? And we were explaining, well, science, what are we trying to achieve with science? With science, the purpose of science is to actually stop death. I mean, why else are we studying botany, chemistry, physics? It's to try to stop disease, suffering, misery, and create prosperity, happiness. Science. Understand what's going on, or how the material world, how the world is working, and work in such a way to stop suffering. Otherwise, why so much effort? So we were explaining that Chakvadeha puna janmanaiti mameti Shawajuna Janma karma chame dibyam evam joveti tattva. Like Prabhupada would say, this is the greatest science. Evam yoveti tattvataha. Tattva means science. Tattva means truth. Evam yoveti tattva. Those who know this truth. Evam yoveti tattvataha. Those who know this truth. Chakvadeha puna janmanayati. Chakvadeha, you give up this body, puna janmanayati, you don't take birth again. So what is the greater science? All scientific problems are solved. If you don't get another material body. What is the purpose of science beyond that? The Chancellor didn't quite catch on to that argument. Couldn't quite see how Bhagavatam would be considered in the science faculty. But anyway. And also another person there was one professor who was doing a yoga science. Yoga science. So he was there, he was giving his input, yoga science, and he was saying that, why I'm sharing with you this incident, because he was saying, we only study 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. we only study the ones that are easy to present a non-devotional almost atheistic, a non-devotional, atheistic understanding. So we're only studying the chapters that it's where it's easy to remove Krishna. We're studying these chapters, but this is not the approach. This is not the approach. Sarvam etat ritam manye yomam badishikeshabaha. After explaining the Chatu Shloki Gita, Arjuna, first of all, Krishna, he announces himself. Krishna declares, Mata parataram nanyat, parataram na anyat. There's no truth higher to me. Aham sharvasya prabhava. I am the source of aham sharvasya prabhava. Everything is a manifestation of my energy. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Krishna is declaring his position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Bhagavad Gita, and immediately after that, Arjuna accepts Param Dharma, Param Brahma, Pavitram, Paramam, Bhavam, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devam, Ajam, Vibhum. All of these check boxes, which are only you can refer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Param Brahma, Param Dharma, the ultimate abode. Pavitram, the purest. Shashvatam, Divyam, Adi Devam. The Lord, the origin of all the Lords, Adi Devam. Ajam, Vibhum, unborn, the greatest. All check boxes that are Abhigya Swarat, Abhigya Swarat. Prabhupada's explaining Abhigya. He is fully conscious, fully Abhigya, experienced. He's Abhigya, experienced. Means he's the most experienced. There's no one that can compare. How can you compete that to be equal in experience or even more experienced than the Supreme Swayam Bhagavan Sri Krishna? It is not possible. So he's the most experienced. And there's no competitor. We were discussing recently about the Advaita Gyan, Advaita Acharya, the teacher of the non-dual reality. Advaita Acharya, the teacher of the non-dual reality. What Advaita means? There's no one else. Advaita means without a second. Dvaita, two. Advaita, there's no two, there's only one. Even in Christianity, although it's very popular and many wonderful aspects, but this is not understood. In Christian theology, there is a concept of a competitor. And God is not completely in control. Maybe 80%, 85%, maybe 90%, but there's a little bit that he's not, that Satan is in control of that. And it's a battle, it's like a political battle. And the missionary means that we have to advertise, we have to reclaim from Satan's party. We have to reclaim them back to our party, the competitor. There's no competitor. There's no one else has any, he's in control of everything. It's not that someone, a rogue, Satan is a rogue angel. You know the story, a rogue angel. He went off the tracks. He was an angel, he went off the tracks, and he attracts people and they get swept away into Satan's path. And God is there scratching his head. What am I going to do about this? How am I going to get rid of this guy? We have to send our missionaries out everywhere. At least we'll have a bigger following, at least. But this is not Bhagavat Tattva Gyan. Bhagavan means no competitor. Is that he's in control of everything. That's why he's God. Abhigya. He's under the supreme omniscient, the supreme understanding. And therefore, we surrender to him because there's no comparison in terms of his experience. He's the most experienced. Sarvam etat ritam manya yovam vadishikesvaha. Therefore, whatever he says, we accept. As Prabhupada is saying, not like the many so-called scholars and swamis who amend the words of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Amend the words. When Srila Prabhupada left Bharat Bhumi We're just reading, we're reading, where were we? Yesterday, a couple of days ago, Akadashi, Attapur. We're reading Prabhupada Lilamrita, and it was the beginning of the chapter, and it was an excerpt from Prabhupada's diary on the Jaladuta. He was mentioning how our only solace is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada on Jaladuta, he was carrying with him a copy of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, assuming that would have been a publication of Bhagavaja Gaudiya Math, where Prabhupada was affiliated with. Atulananda Das Brahmachari would wait at Howrah station with a horse and carriage when Prabhupada from Prayag, he was in Prayag for more than 10 years, a day pharmacy, and Prabhupada would visit Kolkata, see his family. His family was in, he would come to Kolkata on occasion, and to see Siddhanta Shastri Thakur. So he would be picked up at the station. Otulananda Das Brahmachari pick up Prabhupada in a horse and carriage from Howrah station, take him to Bhagavaja Gaudiya Math. Prabhupada was so learned in philosophy, such wonderful, I'm wandering around seeing how auspicious, how glorious ISKCON Hyderabad was. Prabhupada in Nija Charanduli. You got the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada's rooms, on the Prabhupada sat on this Vyasa-san, accepted worship. The Vyasa-san worshipped for 10,000 years. This Vyasa-san will be worshipped for 10,000 years. Installed Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. When I come here and stand before the deity of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, I desire, if one day I could see Lord Jagannath on the rot, on the streets of Hyderabad. What a pleasure that would be. Personally installed by Srila Prabhupada. What a pleasure that would be. It's a desire. Perhaps it will be fulfilled. But in Kolkata, they said to me, Prabhu, lifelong, we're expecting you, ISKCON Kolkata Rath Yatra. Lifelong. So maybe. But that's Prabhupada's Rath Yatra in Kolkata, so that's also very special. Prabhupada personally pulled the rot in Kolkata, Paliganj and MG Road. Prabhupada personally pulled the rot there. So Kolkata Rath Yatra is also very special. So Prabhupada was reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita on the Jaladuta. And I was wondering, where is that Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? That copy that Prabhupada carried with him to New York. Where is that? Where is that now? Prabhupada's personal Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that he carried with him to New York and was reading. Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Amrita Pravaha Basya, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Bengali, commentaries on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada said, this is my only solace, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in 1966, in New York, Prabhupada is giving lecture on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sanatan Shikha. Very sublime, very wonderful lectures on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sometimes we hear, we're meant to study the books in the appropriate order, Bhagavad Gita, Upadeshamrita, Nectar Devotion, Ishopanishad, then the Bhagavatam, you get Bhakti Shastri, then you do Bhakti Vaibhav, first 6 cantos of Bhagavatam, and then the Bhakti Vedanta, 12 cantos of Bhagavatam, then Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. However, Bhakta Mandali, listen carefully, it's not required that we wait till we have our Bhakti Vedanta degree before studying Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not required. Jasmin prati shlokam abhadava. Each and every syllable, wherever you touch. Jasmin prati shlokam. Whether you start at the end or you start in the beginning. Shravanadi shuddha chitte koraya udoy sanatan shika. Shravanadi shuddha chitte. By hearing, Shravanadi shuddha chitte. The heart becomes purified. Koraya udoy. Koraya udoy. Udoy means the Udoy means the awakening. Udoy, Surja Udoy, rising. Udoy. It erupts, eruption. Shrabonadi, Shrabonadi, based on hearing, Shrabonadi, Shuddha Chitte, the consciousness becomes purified predominantly by hearing. Consciousness is purified predominantly by hearing. Karaya Udoy. And then the Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem, Krishna, love for Krishna, which is Shaddha Kabunoi. It's not something that you will get one day. It's already there in the heart. Krishna Prem. Jivira Shrarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Dash. That's who we are, Krishna Dash. And the relationship is Prem. Prem Shampurko in the different Rasha. Rasha Tatta. Rup Goswami. Rasha Tatta, Bhakti Tatta, Krishna Tatta. Pranto Shab Shikailo Prabhu Bhagavat Siddhanto to Rup Goswami. Everything that's in the Bhagavatam, Krishna Tatta, Bhakti Tatta, Rasha Tatta, Pranto. Pranta means anto, means as far as you can go, the end. Krishna Tatta, Bhakti Tatta, Rasha Tatta. Rasha Tatta, the science of flavors. Where is the comparison on this planet? The theology of the Gaudiya, the Goswami Siddhanto. Where is the comparison in this planet? Rasha Tatta. Is there any concept of the different flavors of worshipping and loving God in Brajabhumi? Is there any comparison in theology in this world? In the United States, the treasure of this world, which we're all searching for, the US dollars. The US dollars, Goloke Prem Dhan, Goloke Prem Dhan, the wealth of love which comes from Goloka, Goloke Prem Dhan, Harinam Shankirtan. That's in the holy name, in congregational chanting. But they're thinking it's the US dollar. On the US dollar it says, in God we trust. But that is their Bhagavat Tattva Pranto. That is as far as they understand the science of God. In God we trust. But the Rasha Tattva, the different ways, the Madhurja Rash, Vatsalya Rash, Shakya Rash, Shanta Rash, such a science of loving God. And the exponents are there, Ragatmaka Bhaktas, Brajabhumi, Jashodama, Gopi, Braja Gopira, Aradha Bhagavan, Brajeshitanayo, Tathama Brindavanam. Chakravarti Thakur explains that Aradha Bhagavan, the most worshipable form of the Lord, Aradha Bhagavan, Brajesha is the darling son of Brajesha, the king of Braj, Nanda Baba. Brajesha Tanaya, Tathama Brindavanam. His residence is Brindavan, Ramnakachit Upashana. Ramnakachit Upashana, which is the Kachit Upashana. What's the most Ramna? What is the most pleasing type of Upashana? Ramnakachit Upashana. What's the most pleasing type of worship of God? Braja Badu, Bhagena Jakalpita. Braja Badu. Braja Badu. Badu means the housewives. Braja Badu, the housewives, the cowherd maidens of Braj. Braja Badu, Bhagena. Those cowherd maidens of Braj. Braja Badu, Bhagena Jakalpita. That which is offered by the cowherd maidens, the cowherd damsels of Braj. That is Ramna, Kachit, Upashana. That is the most pleasing type of worship. This is Rasha Tatta. This is Bhagavat Siddhanto, which is given to us in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda explains that even though he was a very learned scholar in many languages, Hindi, Bangla, Sanskrit, very learned, but still he didn't understand Srimad Bhagavatam until he found Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Thakur Bhaktivinoda, he was in Bengal, Dinajpur. You can visit that place. That's in East Bengal, Bangladesh, Dinajpur. We've been fortunate to visit on several occasions. We're preaching there. We have ISKCON in Dinajpur. Just imagine, just try to conceive of what Prabhupada has done for us. That even in Bengal, where Nitai Gosai, Abadut Gosai himself was the preacher. Nityanandai Agidilo Jao Gaudadeshe, Anagal Prem Bhakti Kodaho Prakashe. Mahaprabhu personally ordered Nityananda Prabhu in Jagannath Puri. Don't, oh holy man, don't come to Jagannath Puri every year. Nityananda Agya Dilo. He ordered Nityananda, Jao, go to Deshe, go to Bengal, go to Desh, go to Desh, go to Deshe. Anagal Prema Bhakti Kodaho Prakashe, and without restriction, distribute love of God. So even in the land of Bengal Bhumi, she Gauda Mondal Bhumi, Jeba Jane Chintamoni, which Narottam Thakur describes as non-different from Vrindavan. We were discussing Gaur Mondal Bhumi. It extends from the north, Kanainata Sala, to the east, Srihatta, and Chattogram, Pundarik Dham, and in the south, Remuna. Is Gaur Mondal Bhumi, Jeba Jane Chintamoni. Non-different from Brajabhumi, Vrindavan, Jebajani Chintamoni. Even in Gaur Mandal Bhumi. And such a aristocrat, such a capable person, such a leader of society and learned scholar, he couldn't find Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And now we are going to the people, knocking on their door with Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and giving it to them and selling them. I reflect on the experiences I had selling Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita on the streets in Melbourne. Selling Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita on the streets, the golden cup on the streets. That's Putit Pabon Hetu Tava Avatar. Putit Pabon, to deliver the most fallen. Putit Pabon Hetu, for that reason, Tava Avatar, you have come. Prabhupada, ISKCON, boom. The perfect alignment with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. Distributing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita on the street. To those, their level of adhikar, their level of consciousness is like complete zero. Your phone completely, no, 1%, 2%, 3%, a zero. It says black. Nothing, nothing. You push, you touch, nothing. Completely out of charge. That's Putit Pavan. They are eligible. You can't even touch, make it work. Not like Bharat Bhumi. Already people are so advanced. Bharat Bhumi Janma. Already you know so many things. A previous life, next life, karma, shadu, asram, atma. Is already inherent in the mind of everybody born in Bharat Bhumi. Even the different religions, they still know these things. Sadhu, tirtha, the holy river, Shnan, all of these things. Bharat Bhumi, so advanced from birth. So fortunate. But in these Paschat Desha Tarane, zero, you touch it, nothing. It's completely, they're the people. Mahaprabhu's come to the Putit Pavan. Patra apatra bicha nahe. Patra apatra. Qualification, no qualification. Bicha nahe, no consideration. Shtan ashtan, place, purified place, pious place, sinful place. Shtan ashtan in Kali Yuga, the sinful places where there is meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex. There's sinful places in Kali Yuga. Shtan ashtan, even the sinful place, doesn't matter. Jai jahapai tahakore prem dhan. Just you come in contact. So this is Prabhupada's movement. So just see what Prabhupada has done. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, and is in the temples, everywhere, ISKCON, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thakur Bhaktivinoda, he was searching, such a qualified, such a influential person. He couldn't find Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in Bengal. Just try to consider what Srila Prabhupada has done for the world. So Srila Prabhupada was on the Jaladuta, he was reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. He said that, this was what I found remarkable, that he said, my only shelter is the order of my Guru. And that was in 1965, and Prabhupada received that order in 1922. Uttadanga Road, you have to go there. Every preacher must go and roll in the dust on the rooftop Ultadanga Road. You must, if you haven't seen already, you have to go. It is remarkable, just like it was. Bhakti Ashon, when Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur began the Gaudiya Math. He was there in Radhakund, in Mayapur, where is now Sri Chaitanya Math. Radhakund. He was there in the jungle, Japa. So many Shatakoti Nam Brata. Thousands, 100,000 names. He was many years chanting, long hair, beard, lota under the umbrella that Siddhanta Saraswati. And then the Panchatattva appeared in the dream, enough tapasya, enough austerity. You go, a Panchatattva, what a dream. Now you go and preach. You go to Kolkata, you begin the preaching. He went to Bhakti Ashon. He established first Gaudiya Math. Bhakti Ashon in Kolkata. Ultadanga. It's not far from the airport. And that place, and Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was there 12 years. He lived in that room 12 years. Most of the expansion and achievements of the Gaudiya Math were achieved when Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was living in that room in Ultadanga. You can go to that room and you can chant in that room. That room is there. His murti is there. We've put and the balcony where Prabhupada. Such a special place. And it took that long to get. Many in the past, sadhus, Gaudiya Math tried to get that since 100 years. They couldn't get that place. ISKCON. Radha Govinda Prabhu. What's Prabhu's name? Yeah, it's a whole leela on how they managed to get that place. So it was 1922, 1965. What is that? That's 40 years. That's 43 years. Yes. Prabhupada received that order 43 years. He said, Prabhupada on the boat, he's saying that my only shelter is the order of my guru. Prabhupada did not even have support from his godbrothers. He did not have support. He was alone. Just imagine. Just imagine if you were there alone, without the temple, without ISKCON, without Mayapur, Vrindavan, without all of our acharyas. We take it for granted. We take ISKCON for granted. It's so easy to become Krishna conscious in ISKCON. You just hang around. I know many people just hang around. But that's still glorious. Even if you don't do anything amazing, still just being here, that's amazing. And that's enough. Tadero charana shebi bhakta shane bash janame hoy ei abhilash. Narottam Mahashaya, he says, my only desire, janame hoy ei abhilash, life after life, tadero charana shebi bhakta shane bash, is to associate with those who are serving the Goswamis. Tadero charana shebi, those who are serving the lotus feet of the Goswamis. Bhakta shane bash, to sit with them, to associate with them. Janame hoy ei abhilash. My desire, life after life. So even if we just hang around, that's enough. That's ISKCON. Prabhupada is so merciful, so kind. Mahabhagavata. How easy is it? Otherwise, how is it possible that we Western people can become devotee? How is it possible? Because of ISKCON. Because you get swept away. So much engagement, so much enthusiasm, so much activity, so much easy to serve Krishna. You come to, I remember first time I visited temple, Melbourne, Mahaprabhu Mandir, Shri Radha Ballabh, installed by Srila Prabhupada. There is also rooms of Srila Prabhupada there. Prabhupada lived there. First time I visited, here are the pots, here's the scrubber. Here are the pots. Here's the scourer. First day, washing the pots. And such ananda, we experience such ananda, washing the pots. There's so much seva in ISKCON, so easy. You just hang around. So Prabhupada, he was one person. Just imagine if you were one person. No temple, no ISKCON, no books, no gurus, no holy dhams, no programs, no YouTube with ISKCON preachers, nothing. Just you. Just you. How long could you last in the mission? And the order you received it 40 years ago. How is it that you could be such determination? There's incomparable determination. We cannot measure Prabhupada's determination. He had nothing. He had nothing, just the support, just the order of his guru, which he got 40 years. Just try to understand. We're so much supported, we're so much protected by everything in ISKCON. So easy, we take it for granted. But Prabhupada had nothing. And what he was doing, any ordinary person would just, they wouldn't even conceive of such a thing, going to the foreign country alone. So extraordinary. Reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Any even devotee would give up. They would, even Prabhupada's godbrothers, they thought, no, this is just poetry. Pritibidi ache joto nagaradi gram shabatra procha hoibe mon naam. Mahaprabhu in Ramkeli, with his arms raised, he declared, Pritibite ache joto nagaradi gram. In as many nagaradi gram, cities and towns, Pritibite, on this planet, Sabatra procha hoibe mon naam. My holy name will be. The disciples of His Divine Grace Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they were thinking, oh, this is poetry. This is kobita, Bangla kobita. It will spread all over the world. This is poetry. It's not possible. So even the sadhus, even the sannyasis, they didn't think it, didn't have that determination. Prabhupada, one person. It's so special. Prabhupada came to this planet to deliver us. He came to this planet to deliver us. And now we see his intimate Antaranga Bhaktagan, his intimate associates that go with him from planet to planet. They're leaving now and they're going to his next destination. They're going to join Prabhupada in his next destination. So Prabhupada on that Jaladutta, he was there, and with the order to spread the holy name, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the first meeting in Ultadanga Road, he didn't specifically mention Srimad Bhagavatam. He didn't particularly mention, he said Gaudavani, the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you preach in English language all over the world. That was the specific instruction that Prabhupada first received. Subsequently, he received instructions, if you get money, print books right on the banks of Radha Kund. Sadhu Sangha Labhamatra Sharva Siddhi Hoy. This is an example. In one brief interaction, if you get money, print books. Sadhu Sangha Labhamatra, even a moment's association, Sharva Siddhi Hoy. All perfection is there. How important that one moment, if you get money, distribute books, as spoken in one moment, how important that is for us and this movement. Labhamatra Sadhu Sangha Sharva Siddhi Hoy. In one moment's Labhamatra, one moment association, Sharva Siddhi Hoy. There's example of that. However, Prabhupada, he specifically mentions that I was ordered to compile Srimad Bhagavatam by my spiritual master. So Prabhupada, the giving Srimad Bhagavatam to humanity, Prabhupada is considering that a direct order. He says, I was engaged in the mission of presenting Srimad Bhagavatam to the entire world by my spiritual master, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That's interesting, because it doesn't appear that Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur particularly specifically mentioned translating Srimad Bhagavatam and spreading that all over the world. But Prabhupada, inspiration, and considering this the desire of his guru. Vyas to Narad Muni to Vyas. Ato Mahabhaga Bhavana Mogadrik Shuchi Sarvashattarato Dida Brata Urukam Shakala Bandhamuktaya Shamadhi Nanushmaratat Vichestitam. Mahabhaga, you're so fortunate. Bhavan Amogadrik, your vision is perfect. Suchi, you're pure. Srava Satyarato, you're situated in truthfulness. Urukam Shakala Bandhamuktaya Shamadina Anushmara. Shamadina Anushmara, meditate on the pastimes of Urukrama, Tadvichestitam, and all of its variety. Bandhamuktaye. And in this way, by meditating on the pastimes of Urukrama, and Vichestitam, revealing its variety, Bandhamuktaye, the bound up, conditioned souls will get liberation. That's all Narad Muni said to Vyas. But being inspired, that's another example of Labamatra Sharu Shanga Sharvashi, a moment's instruction. But Vyas Muni, he expanded on that. Inspiration. What does that mean? That means Srimad Bhagavatam, 12 cantos. Narad Muni never said there's 12 cantos, 17,000 verses, this lila, that lila, this, that. The disciple expands on the mission of the Guru. That is first-class disciple. Not that the father has to spoon-feed him everything. The disciple knows what is the internal desire of the Guru, and the disciple gives his life to fulfilling that, expanding that in new ways. This is the parampara. That's what parampara means. Sampradaya. What is it that sampradaya? What is it that's being completely given? It's the essence. It's the conclusion. Bhagavad Bhakti. Namani Anantasya Jashon Kintani, the glorification of the Supreme Lord. But how that is done, the individual follower can be out of own inspiration, can create new ways. I mean, even Prabhupada's books, they're so extraordinary. There's no comparison. Spiritual books you find in India, they're all dry pages, dry. Maybe a black and white picture in the front of Manda. But Prabhupada's books are luxurious, opulent. Just by looking, the books are so attractive. They're so beautiful. The pictures. It's Prabhupada's expanding on the mission of the Guru in new varieties of ways. Now the Juga Dharma, we know, Kali Yuge, Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. Nam Rupe, in the name. And Mahaprabhu, he said, Bhagavatam, that's Mahaprabhu is explaining, Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In the Bhagavatam, Kirtanat, Ashte Eka Mahagunat Kala Dosha Nidhe Rajan, Dosha Nidhi. It's an ocean of fault, Dosha Nidhi. Ashte Eka Mahagunat, Eka Mahaguna, one good thing. Kirtana Deva Krishnasha, chanting the name of Krishna, Mukta Shanga, can completely free you from the illusion. Parambrajet, and you can attain the Supreme just by Kirtanat Eva Krishnasha, chanting the name of Krishna. So the Juga Dharma is Nam Shankirtan. Kali Juge, Juga Dharma, Name Prochar, Toti Lage, Pita Varna, Chaitanya Avatar. Name Prochar, Toti Lage, for that purpose, Chaitanya Avatar, to spread the holy name. And even we often hear Mahaprabhu in Gaya, Ishwarpuri Prabhupada, Murka Tumi, you're a fool. Vedanta na adhikar, you cannot study Vedanta. Krishna Nam Japashada e Mantrashar. Mantrashar, the essence of everything in the Vedanta, mantra, all the studies. And Krishna Nam Japashada, chant the holy name. So academics and scholarly, it's not such a predominant aspect. Just chant the holy name. Prabhupada certainly was fully conversant with the Shastric injunctions that the holy name is the only means of deliverance in the Kali Yuga. However, along with the holy name, Prabhupada had Karatal. He didn't have Mridanga. They found Mridanga. So he was playing on bongo drum. You know, there's original Hare Krishna, Hare. Prabhupada playing a bongo drum. Boom, 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 a bongo drum. The call, then someone came with call. Mridanga, call. Mridangam, they say here in the south. Mridangam. In Bengal, it's a call. Tatai bhajalo call. Ghana tahi jajero ro. Preme dala shonara anga. Jordane nupura bhaje. Tatai bhajalo call. Mridanga. Prabhupada got the Mridanga. He had to karatao. However, Prabhupada why did he stay in Vrindavan? We just came from Vrindavan. We should have stayed there. We're just hearing this morning, Kartik Mash, Damodar Mash in Mathura, Mandali, Mathura is so glorious. We were there, left a few days ago. This is how foolish we are. However, Bhakata Sheva Paramashiti, we were requested by the Vaishnavas in Attapur to come and do a course. So we, Bhakata Sheva Paramashiti, we left Brajabhumi. But we went to Radha Damodar temple, one Shanyashi was there. He showed us upstairs. Bhakta Mandali, listen carefully. You may not know that there's 3 rooms upstairs in Radha Damodar Mandir that Prabhupada also lived in. 3 rooms upstairs. And we went and looked. They're using one for storeroom. And then there's another. And just like here you have with the opening in Radha Damodar temple, you see there's a balcony and there's little windows. One of those opens up into the room that Prabhupada had. I open the door and you can see that the Prabhupada would sit and he could see Radha Damodar Arati there. And then subsequently, after 2 or 3 years, Prabhupada moved downstairs and occupied the downstairs room in the kitchen, where Rupa Goswami Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir, Prabhupada's darshan. Why was Prabhupada there? He took that time before embarking on his tour to the West. Why was he there? What was his main objective? It was to write Srimad Bhagavatam. It was to translate Srimad Bhagavatam. Just imagine Prabhupada in Vrindavan. Just imagine Prabhupada. Just imagine Vrindavan in the 1950s. 70 years ago. 70 years ago. Even in my short time of visiting Vrindavan, 20 or 30 years, it has changed so much. When I was first visiting Vrindavan, we could walk along in front of Radha Madan Mohan temple on the sandy path. And the Vrindavan Parikrama, it'd take 2.5 hours on the sandy path. And that's all gone now. It's all roads and auto rickshaws. That's only in the last 20 years how much Vrindavan has changed. Raman Reti, there was nothing there. Raman Reti, the sand, it was just barren sand, desert. Raman Reti now, around ISKCON, is there any space? In the last 20 years, imagine 70 years ago, what Vrindavan would have been like before ISKCON. What ISKCON the world at Vrindavan has completely changed for ISKCON. In the bazaar, they all speak different languages: Spanish, Russian. The Loy Bazaar, the cloth wallers, they're all fluent in Russian. Even in Mayapur, the shopkeepers now they speak Russian. But imagine 70 years ago, Prabhupada in Radha Damodar, what that life, what Vrindavan would have, sadhus, Vaishnavas, bhaktas, bhajan. Prabhupada spent that time there and absorbed in Srimad Bhagavatam, those purports, the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, masterpiece, first canto, Prabhupada's. No ISKCON, no followers. And Prabhupada took that time, he invested that time. So yes, Asti Eka Mahaguna, one great quality, Kirtana Deva Krishna Shah. But still, Prabhupada spent 7 years, 6-7 years in Vrindavan writing the Bhagavatam. Because that was also, Prabhupada, that was also, he wanted to, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte, the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada's, what he's innumerable, what he has achieved. The first time, he left Kolkata, went on the Jaladuta, Colombo, and then he came down here, South India, Cochin, Kerala, Cochin. The monumental historical moment, the first time in the history of the planet, the Srimad Bhagavatam was taken out of Bharat Bhumi. Carried by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila. To fulfill the words of Sutta Goswami, of Narad Muni, that of Sutta Goswami, that Kalo Nasta, that Krishna Svadamu Upagate, Dharma Gyan Adibi Shaha, he's returned. Upagate, Dharma, Jnana Adibi Shaha, along with religion, Dharma Jnana Adibi, along with religion and knowledge. Kalo Nashtadrisham Esha, and those who are remaining in the Kali Yuga who are Nashtadrisham, who are blind, whose vision is destroyed because of the influence of Kali Yuga. Puranak Adono Uditaha. Puranak Uduno Udita. Purana Aduno Itiha. Aduno Uditaha. Uditaha. It is just arisen. Aduno. They will get light from this Purana. Purana Adono Uditaha, which is just arisen. Vyas Muni compiled. And Prabhupada brought the Srimad Bhagavatam with him to New York. So he had first canto Srimad Bhagavatam, and he was distributing first canto Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is the beginning of the propagation of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. So Prabhupada's books are worshipable, every word. Jasmin Pratishloka, how much Prabhupada, how much effort Prabhupada placed, Prabhupada sacrificed to give us Srimad Bhagavatam. And then having reached the West and begun his preaching, then similarly Prabhupada gave up sleep. He would rest for 2-3 hours in the evening and get up at 1 a.m. Why? Because it was required. Humanity, kalo nasta drishamesha puranako adunudita. This Purana will give them light. We're just beginning to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. We should have universities simply studying Srimad Bhagavatam, each and every sloka, in such detail. And as our movement expands, then our preachers, our leaders, study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Even now, we have the great fortune that our leadership is those who are directly trained by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada's disciples, who are directly trained by him. And they have the key positions of leadership in the movement and are most influential. Personally trained by Prabhupada. His Holiness Ujjayi Pataka Swami Maharaj, he received more than 25 direct personal instructions from Srila Prabhupada. More than 25. That is so special. And therefore such exalted Vaishnavas they're qualified to lead this movement because being personally empowered by Srila Prabhupada and personally instructed. Therefore they're such a treasure. But within a decade or two, this treasure we will no longer be able to take advantage of. And there will be no longer those who are directly trained by Srila Prabhupada on the planet from whom we can take shelter and guidance. Then what will we do? Then gradually we will begin to see the importance of what Prabhupada has written in the books for the subsequent guidance, direction, and expansion of the movement. And leadership in the movement and responsibility in the movement will so much will be important, the deep study of Srila Prabhupada's writings in order to ensure that his movement and legacy carry on for generations to come. Thousands of years, 10,000 years. And in that way, we take such respect and so seriously we take Prabhupada's words here that they are. As he explained, I've lost the page, but as it is, Prabhupada said, as it is in this purport, he said, as it is. As it is. This means that anything spoken by the personality of Godhead should be taken as it is, with great care and attention and with great respect. Prabhupada's writing that about anything, he says, anything spoken by the personality of Godhead. For us, that means anything spoken by His divine grace. He's not saying that himself, because he has such humility. Anything spoken by the personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead. But for us, Jasha Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada, Jasha Aprasada, Nagati Kutope, there is no other path. Aprasada, Naga, without Prabhupada's mercy, how can we get the mercy of the Supreme Lord? Jasha Aprasada, without His mercy. So for us, that means everything spoken by Srila Prabhupada should be taken as it is, with great care and attention and with great respect. So in that way, we understand that the holy name is the means of deliverance in this day, but Prabhupada has so much effort, so much, he has shed so much blood, sacrificed so much to give us instructions. That's because we require that for generations to come, for thousands of years to come. We require his Vapushanga. We require his direct association. We require to, with great respect and attention and great care, take as it is, everything that Prabhupada has written. And we require universities in the study of Srila Prabhupada's books. And that will be a great benediction to humanity in generations to come when we achieve such things. This bag. So today being the Purnima, first day of Kartik month, I'd just like to share with you a few glories of Kartik month for our meditation. Of course, this can be discussed in more detail in subsequent pravachan by the exalted Vaishnavas of ISKCON Hyderabad. But just in regard offering a lamp, which we'll all get the good fortune to do this evening and subsequent to the month of Kartik. When one offers a lamp during the month of Kartik, his sins of many thousands and millions of birds perish in half an eye blink. Many thousands and millions of birds of sins perish by offering one lamp to Damodar in this month. Even if there is no mantra, no pious deeds, no pure, everything becomes perfect when a person offers a lamp during the month of Kartik. A person who during the month of Kartik offers a lamp to Lord Keshav has already performed all yajnas and bathed in all the holy rivers. The ancestors say when someone in our family pleases Lord Keshav by offering him a lamp during the month of Kartik, then by the mercy of the Lord who holds Sudarshan Chakra, he will attain liberation. To one who either at home or in a temple offers a lamp during the month of Kartik, Lord Vasudev gives a great result. A person who offers a lamp to Lord Krishna during the month of Damodar, Kartik, becomes very glorious in fortune. No sins exist anywhere in the three worlds that will not be purified by offering a lamp to Lord Keshav during Kartik. A person who offers a lamp during Damodar, a person who offers a lamp to Lord Damodar during Kartik attains the eternal spiritual world where there is no suffering. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Damodar Mash, Damodar Brata ki, Shamabeta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Is there any question? Yes. Yes. Because it doesn't matter so much what side, left, right, front. Bhavagrahi Janardana means that he accepts the mood. So more important than the direction or the side is the attitude of service, and we should bow down to the Lord with the desire of pleasing Him. As He mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Mam Namashkuru, bow down to me. So in order, the Lord becomes pleased when we bow down our head. Shiro Rishikesha Pad Abhibandane. We place the head and we offer that at the lotus feet of the Lord. That's very pleasing to the Lord. And that's why Prabhupada, this great respect, the Bhagavatam, it's not that we're just, the way the Bhagavatam is studied. It's part of the Archana Marg. The Bhagavatam is studied and heard in front of the deity with great respect. The speaker is given great honor. So this is the way to receive Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki.